Okay, so today is going to be a yin yoga class, and the focus on the session is to really look within. We're going to be doing all over postures for the whole body, and I've got a little journal with me, and we're going to be journaling after each pose if you want to, just to note down what's going on. And part of our yoga practice is to really connect to ourselves, connect to our emotional and mental state. So we're going to make a couple of notes on how we're feeling and how we felt during those poses. I've also got some essential oils. I've got a cup of drink, so if you want to, you can grab those. And I've also got a couple of pillows to help in some of the poses. So we're going to start off with just making a note on how we feel right now in this moment. So take a second to record something in your journal, write something down. It might be as simple as feel good, or it might be a little bit more complex, like feeling anxiety, not sure why, and just taking the moment and time to just write a sentence, if that, on how you're feeling. Okay, so we're going to begin with a little essential oil work. So I've got a gratitude blend, which is beautiful. It's full of like rose and really nice warming aromas. So if you have got an oil, you can use yours now. It doesn't have to be the same, any one that you want to use right now. Okay, so I'm going to rub the palms together. Already you can smell the aroma. And just taking in that beautiful smell for about 10 breaths, not too close to the nose that it's overpowering. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. And this just really helps us to become present and connect to our senses. Close the eyes. If you haven't got an oil, just focusing on your breathing. Last couple of breaths. Okay. So just gently moving the hands down away from the face, maybe palms facing up onto the knees. Sitting cross-legged with the eyes closed, relaxing through the hands, relaxing through the facial features, the forehead, the cheeks, the jaw, the lips, the tongue. Just noticing your breathing like a tide moving in and out, feeling that in the area of the tummy. Okay. Gently flutter open the eyes, and we'll start with our first posture. So we're going to be starting by stretching out the neck, where we tend to hold a lot of stress and tension in the body. So with yin yoga, it's all about finding a comfortable position for you. It doesn't need to look a certain way as long as you can feel the active stretch, and that should be fine. So we're going to start, we always start by working our left side body in yin yoga. So we're going to take the head over to the right, so to drop the right ear to the right shoulder, relaxing through the neck. And you can begin to relax through the center body. We don't need to sit bolt upright. We can relax here. And if you feel that you're not getting too much of a stretch along the left side of the neck, you can take the right arm, take it up nice and straight, bend at the elbow, and just holding onto the ear, just resting the weight of the hand onto the ear. And we're going to be holding this for about a minute. Breathing nice and comfortably here, no tension or forcing of the breath. Yin yoga is a cooling practice. We're not creating fire in our body. We're working deep into our connective tissues and the fascia to strengthen, lengthen our tissues. And when you come out of the pose, if you begin feeling any numbness or tingling sensation, yin yoga really challenges our patience in the body and the mind. Just a little bit longer. Okay, and you can gently release the right hand, using the hand to help you guide the head back up to the center. And if you just make a very subtle movement of the head side to side, hopefully you can really notice that we've freed up a little bit of space around the left side of the neck. So just taking a moment to write down anything that you feel, anything that came up there where your energy was being used. Okay, so coming back up, we're going to take a couple of breaths. If you've got your oil, just a couple of breaths of that aroma, coming back to that, just recentering ourselves for the next posture. So you can close off the eyes, taking a couple of breaths. Good. Okay, gently release. We're going to be working the neck on the other side now, the right side of the neck. So we're going to be dropping the head over to the left, the shoulder over to the ear down to the left shoulder. And again, if you're not feeling much of a stretch on the right side of the neck, you can bend the elbow here and just resting the hand around the ear. Close off the eyes again. And we'll be here for about a minute. Try to keep the mind present, allowing it to drift if it does, not getting frustrated, just compassionately guiding it back to the present moment, back to your body, to the sensations in the neck and the stretch you're feeling. Or you can focus on your breathing. Just a little bit longer. Okay, gently using the left hand to guide the head back to center. Relaxing the hands onto the lap. Maybe just take a gentle rocking of the head side to side just to feel out the work that we've done. And it's very easy for me to say what you could be writing, but it's just writing something down that really comes to mind, whether you're enjoying the practice, whether you're not, and yeah, just how your body and your mind is responding to the practice is a good pointer for you. Okay, so we're going to take a couple of breaths of our lovely aroma again, just centering ourselves ready for the next posture. So gently closing the eyes, taking some deep breaths. Good. Okay, gently release the hands. The next posture we're going to be doing is going to be a stretch for the back of the neck. And then that concludes the neck stretches that we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to interlock the fingers and just trying to interlock the way that you wouldn't, the least dominant way. So when we're crossing over the fingers, we have a a way that we tend to do. For me, my index finger on the left finger is on top, so instead I'm going to switch that so that my right finger is on top this time. So just swapping that over, placing the hands on the back of the head, and we're going to completely relax the upper body here, allowing the back to round, not pushing down on the hands, just allowing the weight of the hands and arms to be on the back of the head, on the crown of the head. We're going to be here again for about a minute. Okay, just a little bit longer here. Remembering with all of our yin postures to come out of the pose really nice and slowly, no rushing. So we can gently relax the hands onto the knees, slowly coming back up to seated. And we can gently, just to counter that last position, take the head slightly back, looking up to the ceiling. Good, and gently back. Okay, so we're just going to write down what was on our mind there, what came up. Okay, and again, just taking a moment to center ourselves for the next posture. If we have got that oil, just taking that in for a few breaths. Okay, good. Nice. So the next position we're going to be doing is going to be a seated eagle arm position. If you've got a drink here, feel free to at any point stop and take a drink, preferably in between postures, not during a pose. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the hands together and just bringing the elbows up here. So we're going to be starting with the left side, as I said, our more feminine side. Always start with the left side in yin yoga. So we're going to be crossing the left arm over the right. So I've got my elbows overlapping, and you can either bring the palms together or you can interlock the hands. So we're going to be sitting up nice and straight here, and hopefully you can feel a little stretch around the left shoulder blade. You'll feel it on one side more than the other. And we're going to completely allow the back to round here, allow the head to relax as well. And you might also notice any sensations from the previous posture that we did. And I'll just get the timer ready. We're going to be holding this posture for 3 minutes. So it's really important here to relax through the body. Allow gravity to do all of the work for you. And we're not pushing the hands down away from the face at all or anything like that. We're just allowing gravity to move the body. You might notice that the hands start to move away from the body as we begin finding space within the muscles, connective tissues. And because we've got the head down, naturally the jaw tends to want to tense up here. So you can just part the lips slightly, allowing the jaw to sit freely. We're going to use an affirmation here to see how our mind and body responds to that, and then after the pose we can just make a note of anything that came up and any resistance or any connection to that affirmation that we felt. And the affirmation for this posture is, I am content with my current circumstances in life. I am content with my current circumstances in life. Okay, so going to an upright position really slowly, and with ease we can uncross the arms. It's usually in the counter of the pose, when we're moving out of the pose, you can really feel what we've done there. So hopefully you can really feel that. I personally feel it quite deep in that shoulder joint, right down, right deep in there. So taking a moment to just jot down anything that came up if you would like to. Okay, and you can take as long or as short on that as you as you like, writing that down. It's a really nice way to just check in with our mind and our body. Okay, so we're going to be doing the same eagle arms, now working on the right side body. So bringing the palms together again, bringing the elbows up. This time we're going to cross the right elbow over the left. And again, doing what we did before, whether you have the hands and palms meeting or whether you interlocked, just trying to mirror what you did on the other side. And we're going to again be completely relaxing through the neck and through the spine here. Maybe you notice that one side is easier than the other or a little bit more difficult. Try to remain as still as you can. Okay, the affirmation we'll use here is I am in control of my own happiness. I am in control of my own happiness. Okay, you can gently, slowly come back upright. And gently uncrossing the arms here. Okay, taking again a minute to write down anything that comes up. Okay, so after you've done that, if you want to grab again another sip of your drink, we can introduce a little bit of mindfulness into the into drinking, which is really nice. So if you have got your mug there, we can just stop for a moment in the practice. So just holding the mug, just using your sense of touch to engage with the temperature of the cup. And notice where you can feel that on the hands, maybe in the palm, maybe you can feel some sensations. How does that heat feel to your body? Now, using our sense of sight to really look at the cup here. So we can just turn the cup around, looking at the design of the cup, how it fits into the hand, how it feels underneath the cup, the ridges that you might feel, any smoothness or roughness, or how that feels. And now looking at the drink itself, noticing maybe little bubbles, colour. We can bring the cup up to the nose using our sense of smell, just taking that smell of that coffee. And if you've got oils on the hand like me, you might also have a mixture of the oils. So just taking a moment to really connect to the smell of your drink. Maybe that brings back any memories. Our sense of smell is connected to our memories. Okay. And it's really difficult to hear your drink, but just taking a moment to take a little knock on the side of the cup. And maybe different areas of the cup feels good. Maybe underneath. Good. And then finally our sense of touch. So we can take a slow sip or gulp of your drink. And we're going to hold it in the mouth. So taking a sip. Just really connecting to what you're tasting and what that does for your mood, what that does for your physical body in terms of hydration. And slowly, gently swallow that. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the next posture. So we've done a little work deep into the shoulders. We're going to do a little bit more, this time on the front and around the pectoral muscles. So we're going to be laying down onto our front. And we're going to bring the left arm out to a L shape by the side of the body. So just to show you with my right arm what I'm doing on my left arm. So bringing that to an L shape with the elbow and shoulder in line. And then spreading the fingers, but relaxing through the fingers as well. What we're going to do is take a little roll onto our left side. So just get the timer ready. So taking a little roll, we can take the head down onto the mat, rolling onto the left side, bending through the knees, stacking the knees up on top of each other. And then with that right hand, you can either bring that to the side of the body you would like, or stretching that up in front. And we'll be here for about 3 minutes. And the affirmation we'll use here is, I give my all to all of my relationships. I give my all to all of my relationships. Okay, so we'll gently and slowly come out of the pose, uncrossing the knees, and we can slowly roll onto our front. And then again, you might notice that stretch a little bit more as you come out of the pose. So really nice and slowly, we're going to grab our journal and just jot down again what came up there. Okay, and so if you want to, again, just taking another sip of your drink, and then we're going to be taking another few breaths of our aroma on the hands before moving on to that stretch on the right side body. Okay, so again, just taking in that lovely aroma. Okay, so we're going to be moving into that stretch now on the right side. So bringing the right arm to that L shape, and then we can roll, we can relax the head down onto the mat. And rolling on the right side, we can slowly begin to bend the knees, stacking the knees up on top of each other. And with the left hand, just placing that anywhere that feels comfortable for you. Again, you might notice a real difference from one side to the other. Maybe one side is a little bit tougher. Relax through the body, relax through the joints, through the muscles. Our breathing can help us just feel at ease in a posture. Close off the eyes. And the affirmation we'll use here is, I am comfortable practicing being present. I am comfortable practicing being present. Okay, so we can gently and slowly start to straighten the legs and roll on to our front. And again, you'll notice that stretch a little bit more as you come out of the position. So we're going to slowly find our way up to seated position. And again, just taking a second to write down how that was for you. Okay, so we're going to take again another little couple of breaths to center ourselves. Good. Okay, so the next posture we're going to do is one of the standing postures in yin yoga. So taking your time to come up to a standing position. So just make any adjustments that you need to. We're going to be doing a forward fold here. So I like to have my feet for this yin posture just hip width or slightly wider than hip width. And we're going to be bending through, allowing completely the head and the back to round, relaxing here. Now, there's two options for where we are. We can either completely relax the hands down on the ground and you can have a little micro bend in the knees,
Or if you want to, you can interlock the hands behind the back and just relax the hands back behind you. So just finding your way, whatever feels more comfortable for you. We'll be holding this one for just 2 minutes. It's quite an intense one on the hamstrings. So we'll be holding this for 2 minutes. Try to remain nice and still. Relax through the jaw. And the affirmation we'll use here is, I am comfortable being completely myself around people. I am comfortable being completely myself around people. Remember if you start to feel any tingling or pins and needles sensation, just come out of the pose. Don't force anything. That's your body telling you to move. Sometimes 2 minutes can be a bit much. Listen to your body. Okay, we'll gently relax the hands and we can gently, slowly come all the way back up to standing first of all. Okay, good. Doing that nice and slow. If you've got low blood pressure, then doing that with the head can feel a little bit much. So just being mindful of that. And we're going to be doing one more posture before moving into Shavasana. But we're going to be just taking a moment to get down to your mat and just writing down how that felt for you. So writing that down in your journal. Okay, so again, if you want to, having a sip of your drink. And just taking in any last bits of that aroma. Good, okay. And so we're going to come onto the knees now. So taking our time to come onto the knees, we're going to curl the toes under behind. Now this might not come so easily for you, and so instead, if this is painful for you, instead what you could do is sitting back down on the bottom, and you could just hold around the bottom of the feet and just trying to curl them towards you. Sometimes if it's painful being on the knees, then you could instead relieve some of the weight of the body by sitting down on the bottom and just curling those towards you. But if that wasn't painful for you, then coming up onto the knees, and we're going to sit back into the heels and just getting comfortable here. And we'll be here for about 2 minutes before moving into Shavasana. So again, just listening to your body. If you need to come out sooner, come out. If you feel any pins and needles or anything like that, you can close off the eyes. Gauging, connecting to that stretch in the feet. And the affirmation we'll use here for our final posture is, I am creating a life I can be happy. I am creating a life where I can be happy. Okay, so we'll gently and slowly come out. It's really important that we do that for this posture. And we slowly release the feet and counter that. So just taking the top of the foot down on the ground and just gently leaning back a little bit here to counter that in the foot. Okay, so we'll gently find a comfortable seat, taking a moment to write anything down that came up for you. Okay, and at the end of the practice we will just write one more thing to summarize the whole experience for us. So we're going to be laying back now. We're going to be laying back in a reclined butterfly pose to just work a little bit more through our relaxation. So I'm going to also place a cushion underneath the arch of my back. And so what I'm going to do is place that just at the bottom of the spine, and I'm going to lean back nice and slow, finding another cushion for my head, and then opening out the knees, bringing the soles of the feet together and bringing the heels to a comfortable distance into the groin area. So not overdoing it. This is our relaxation. We still want to relax here. This is not a very strenuous posture. If this is too much, feel free to instead have the legs out straight and maybe remove the cushion underneath the arch of the back as well. And so we're going to be resting here for a minute or so just to notice how you feel in the body. Maybe notice anywhere you've opened up space. Just make sure we push the shoulders down away from the ears. Make sure we're relaxing through the facial features and the forehead, the jaw. Just noticing the breathing in the area of the tummy. Notice how you feel in your body and in your mind. Notice what thoughts are coming up. Okay, so we can take a slow, deep breath just to wake up the body. And just stretching the arms up above the head. Maybe you feel a little yawn come on. And we're going to roll onto one side and come up to a seated position. Nice and slowly, no sudden movements at all in yin yoga. Everything mindful, slowing down the body. So just finding a comfortable seat and just writing down a little bit on how you found the whole practice as a whole, whether you enjoyed it, what parts you didn't enjoy, maybe an affirmation that you connected with or felt particularly resistant to right now in your life, and anything else that you want to. It doesn't need to be an essay, just something to reflect on the practice. Okay, and when you've done that, you can just bring the palms together, just taking in a couple of deep breaths of that last remaining aroma on the hands. Close off the eyes. Maybe you've noticed that that smell's changed throughout the practice. Good, and just bringing the palms together, the thumb touching onto the space between the eyebrows, taking a moment to be grateful to our body, to our mind for committing to follow through with the whole practice, regardless of
anything that came up that our body or mind was resisting, maybe anything else that comes up that you would like to be grateful for. We can slowly bow down to each other. Namaste.